What's going on YouTube? So not long ago we sampled the all-new Hyundai Elantra inline. However, Kia has already had a performance version of the Forte since last year. So now, in addition to competitors such as the upcoming Civic Si and Jetta GLI, this Forte GT has some related sibling competition as well. But is this a better option than that Elantra inline? Let's go ahead and find out. So getting started here with the exterior design, I think you can tell right off the bat that this is going to be a more conservative looking vehicle than that Elantra inline. However, there's still plenty of sporty touches here to really spice up that Forte look. So I'm going to start out here with your grille. You'll notice for GT duty here, you have a gloss black finish. You also have these little special red inserts that go through the grille, and you'll see those accents throughout the rest of the exterior as well. And then as we come over here to our headlights, this is probably our biggest upgrade. We have special full LED headlights for the GT model. I really love the way this looks. You actually have 4 little LED daytime running light accents, kind of like a Porsche, and then the main bulb is also LED. As we move down below that, we have a separated turn signal indicator, and then we also have a halogen fog lamp. Now continuing the sporty and good looking design, we have these 18-inch contrast alloys. They've got 10 spokes, and you also have the red accent right there in the middle once again. I think these look really nice. And then moving up here to your mirrors, you have the contrast black finish on the GT model. As far as your technology, they are going to be heated, and new for 2021, we have standard blind spot monitoring.
Now, if you probably couldn't tell by now, this Forte GT is a really good looking sedan, and that's going to continue as we head around back. Now, there's going to be quite a few different exclusive bits for the GT, so I'll go ahead and break those down for you. Up top, you're going to notice we do have a blacked out spoiler that really helps to give it a nice sporty look. Then if we drop down, you're also noticing these taillights. These have a really neat design that's unique to the GT, and they are going to be LED, which is also a more premium element. And then if we drop down, you're going to notice that our turn signal is in reverse light or integrated down here kind of in the bumper. And then further below that, we have a unique rear diffuser for the GT with our red accenting and our twin dual exhaust outlets. Now, if you go for a Forte GT, you're going to get most of your safety system standard equipment. So that's going to be forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, as well as auto high beam headlamps. Now, additionally, if you go for the GT2 package, that's also going to throw in adaptive cruise control, which is something that the Hyundai Elantra inline cannot get. Now, it's also worth noting if you go for the manual, of course, it's also not going to have adaptive cruise control. But anyway, guys, that's going to sum up the really awesome exterior design of this Kia Forte GT. But now let's go ahead and check out the inside, see what luxury they've put in there before we take it on a spin. And before we do all of that, be sure to really help us out by hitting that subscribe button down below.
So on the Forte GT, you do have a standard smart entry system with the latest Kia key fob. And then to get inside the vehicle itself, there is not a sensor behind the handle, so you just press the black button. Alright, so taking a look inside of this cabin, you'll see, obviously, it's going to share most of its interior with the normal Forte. However, there are some special sporty touches all throughout the cabin. Now, talking about your different interior material and color options, standard on the GT will be a black cloth seat. However, you'll notice on this specific example, since we have the GT2 package, we have been upgraded to the Sofino leatherette seats. These also come in black only. And you'll notice we have the color contrast piping, stitching, and we also have the GT branding right there in the back of the seat. Now turning over here to your door trim, you have nice materials up here. So we have a nice leather padded armrest with stitching detail. Above this is all going to be soft touch, and it also has a stitching detail as well. And then taking a look at our window here, it's going to be one touch auto up and down for the driver window only. You have your aluminum pedals. And then taking a look here at the seat, when you upgrade to the GT2 package, in addition to the leatherette, you also have a 10-way power adjusting seat instead of the 6-way manual one. Now the Forte has always had a very nice cabin for a compact sedan, and with the GT model you do get those extra sporty upgrades I was talking about earlier. So across our upper dash, this is going to be finished in a soft touch plastic with a stitching detail. As we drop down, we have a piece of silver trim with your GT branding. This is going to be padded through here. And then of course when you get to your lower areas, as you'd expect, you do have some hard touch materials, but I like that Kia has finished this area in a piano black. Now start it up, put your foot on the brake, and press the standard button. Now after it starts up, you will be greeted with a pretty clean and simple gauge cluster. With our model's GT2 package, we do actually have an upgrade. We've got the larger 4.2-inch multi-function display right there in the middle. And this contains, all the typical kinds of information you expect, including your safety systems, of course. Then coming back to the steering wheel, I really love this steering wheel. Of course you have the GT branding. It is flat bottom. It also has a really nice leatherette material around it with the double color contrast stitching and the perforation here on the sides. As far as the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping, and heating is not available. Alright, so now let's go ahead and put the storage to the test. So I'll start out underneath our center console here. As you can see, we have a pretty nicely sized console, plenty of space. There is a lining down there at the bottom, and we also have a USB port. But let's get our coupons out, because this is an area the Elantra inline has just failed a couple days ago. So we'll go ahead and close that. There we go, it does pass the coupon test. Up in front of that, we've got our 2 cup holders. And then in the front, we have another generously sized storage area. Plenty of space in here. You can also stick your phone along the top here, and this is a wireless phone charging pad with the GT2, and you have your traditional connections down below that. Now coming back here to your shifter, this of course is just a traditional style one, so you pull back for drive. When you bump over here to the left, this will automatically engage your sport driving mode and allow you to shift manually here or with our standard paddle shifters. And then heading into reverse, of course, you do have a standard backup camera with active trajectory. You have the handbrake style parking brake. And then up here around the shifter, this is where you'll notice something that's probably very surprising for a vehicle at this price point. And that's the fact that we have 3-stage heated seats and 3-stage ventilated seats. So that's incredibly impressive to see. That's part of the GT2 package, by the way, and it is something that's not available on the Elantra inline that we tested. Now moving on up here to our climate controls. This is going to be a manual setup for all the Forte GTs. As you can see, of course, very simple adjustment, nothing complicated here. And then moving on up here to our audio system. So most of the models will come with a 6-speaker sound system. However, with the GT2 package, that is going to throw in the 8-speaker, 320-watt Harman Kardon sound system. So let's give that a sample. Yeah, so this is a very nice sounding sound system, and I do like, it's a little bit hard to see, but there's kind of these cool speaker designs that are throughout the cabin. I think that's a nice touch as well. Okay, so let's take a look next here at our 8-inch display. This is standard on the GT model, and it does run that typical Kia Yuvo software that you've seen in many of their other products. As far as features to point out, you don't have navigation built into the system. However, you do have standard Android Auto and standard Apple CarPlay. Now moving above that, we have a manual dimming mirror. And then up here at the very top, you will find a power sunroof. This is also included with the GT2 package.
Alright guys, so I'm in the Forte GT's rear seat, and let's go ahead and talk about the space first. Now, as far as that's concerned, you're going to have 36 inches of rear legroom, 39 inches of rear headroom, which does place it below the Hyundai Elantra inline that we just looked at a few days ago. But overall, there's still tons of space. As you can see behind rear seating position, I have, I would say, probably 6 inches of rear legroom, and my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. Now, if we turn our attention towards the features. Now, if we turn our attention towards the features here, you're going to notice that we have rear vents. That's going to be something that's not offered on the Elantra. And then if we fold down the center armrest, we do have cup holders inside. Now, walking up to the Forte's trunk, you are going to notice that we do have the hands-free smart opening one. That is a very nice feature to have. And as far as the space itself is concerned, you're going to have 15.3 cubic feet of space back here, which actually is around 1 cubic feet larger than the Hyundai Elantra. And I'm just really impressed by the amount of space back here. When I threw our camera equipment in, I was like, wow, there's a lot of space. Now, as far as how they finished it, we do have a carpeting along the floor. If we lift it up, there's a spare tire. We can also fold the seat 60-40 split. Now over here on your passenger seat, it is going to be manually adjusting as you would expect. Then if we open up the glove box, well, as some of you guys know, if you follow the channel, you know I have a Hyundai Elantra, and this is the same size glove box as that. And over the many years that I've had that, I've certainly put a lot of coupons in, so it passes this with flying colors. You're definitely going to be able to save money on food. And then if we go up top, we have a sun visor with a light. We can also detach it and extend it.
Nice.
I like it.
So obviously, as you'd expect with the GT model, you're going to have, significant upgrade to the engine and transmission combination. So what we're looking at is a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It's making 201 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. That is the same engine as what you have in the Elantra inline. And really, I like the power. It's very good, especially for a small vehicle like this. You feel the punch of that torque as soon as you get on.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that is right in line with what you get out of the something like a Civic Si, probably when the new generation will come out.
So now that we're kind of out here on a rural road, just going around those first initial corners there, you can immediately tell the upgrades that Kia has made. This really feels extremely tossable. So obviously they've made enhancements to the suspension so that you have that extra tightness to the suspension. So as you go around those corners, you have very little to no body roll. I'm also noticing the steering, it really has a nice heft to it that has a nice feel. So it responds quickly as you turn the steering wheel, and you have a good sense of where your wheels are placed in the road.
Yeah, I mean, I can just see, just from the passenger seat even, I can feel that tossable nature. I mean, it's just going to be a fun car for you to take on a country road like this right here. You don't have to be going super fast, but you can still be having a fun time.
That's right. That's the real mission of vehicles like this. It's not absolute speed, because it's not overwhelming power or anything. It's about having fun.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. So obviously, as you can tell, this is the dual clutch automatic transmission. That should be very obvious to you from just me shifting. As soon as I hit that paddle, it shifts immediately. So really nice dual clutch. Really impressed by the way it performs in both this and the Elantra inline. You do have a 6-speed manual transmission that you can get as well. So you know, if you're into that, which a lot of people shopping in this class might want the manual transmission, you can get that with this. It's actually going to cost a little bit extra to get the manual transmission, but it will come with a little bit extra standard equipment as well.
Yeah. Also worth noting, as I mentioned in the safety systems, you are going to miss out on a few of those, like adaptive cruise control. You can't pair that with the manual, so keep that in mind. But just kind of cruising along here, we're going around 50 miles per hour. And I do want to mention how this vehicle just drives on the day-to-day. If you're familiar with their channel, it's probably sound like a broken record by now, but we do have a 2018 Hyundai Elantra, and I'm really not noticing too big of a difference in terms of ride quality or anything compared to that. Even though we do have large 18-inch wheels, we have the sport suspension, it really still soaks up the bumps well, but it does provide that road feedback that you're looking for in a vehicle like this. And I will also get a sound level reading so we can compare to some of the rivals.
Yeah, for fairness sake, I'll put it back in this normal drive mode here, and we'll get up to 55. Except someone's going to pull out in front of us, of course, because isn't that just how it always happens?
We will hopefully get one sometime. But we were looking at upper 50s before we started slowing down there.
You could always just get the decibel reading here at 20.
Yeah. But it doesn't, from the seat of my pants, the noise level, it may be slightly louder than the Elantra that we just tested a little bit ago, but definitely not overly loud or anything.
Yeah,
like
and there's some enhancements to the exhaust as well, I should point out. It's not really loud or anything, but you can tell that there's a little bit of extra exhaust note.
Now, I guess we could also discuss the fuel economy. Since front-wheel drive is going to be your only option, it's going to come in at 30 combined if you go for the dual clutch and 28 combined if you go for the manual. Now let's go ahead and discuss the airball and slam dunk. Now, as far as our airball today, I'm going to go ahead and just say it's these climate controls here. It's very difficult to find something to airball when you have such a good package overall. I really love this vehicle, but I find it kind of odd that we have stuff like heated and ventilated seats, but we still have manual climate control.
Yeah, and on the slam dunk side of things, kind of related to that, I think, is the fact that our standard equipment on this is better than what you get in the Elantra inline. So I definitely like that Kia's throwing in more stuff for this, well, actually less money as equipped. So that's a good point we can go ahead and get into is the pricing right now.
Yeah. Now for the automatic GT, it's going to start at $22,790. The manual, like Drew mentioned, is a touch more expensive. So that one's going to come in at $23,390. Now this one, as equipped, we have pretty much every option, including an optional paint color, and the destination charge of $965 brings this one to $25,950.
But overall, I have to say, definitely very impressed with this Forte GT, just like I was last year. You know, when it comes to things like this, I've said it before, you know, there's some companies that will just slap a badge on something, make the styling look a little bit sportier, but there won't be any performance upgrades. This is a legitimate performance upgrade. The most important thing is having fun behind the wheel, and I think with the extra power, the really big enhancements to the steering, the driving dynamics, you will definitely have fun behind the wheel and at a very affordable price tag.
Well guys, that's going to wrap up this in-depth review of the 2021 Kia Forte GT. We really appreciate you watching this video, and if you made it this far, I hope that means you enjoyed watching or at least found it helpful. So be sure to help us out by hitting that subscribe button down below. It's completely free to you, and all it's going to do is give you notifications on our most recent content if you tap that notification bell, which you should do as well. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.